We are live. Hi everyone. Hello. We're waiting a little bit, but we're essentially going live right now. Good. It's working. So, December transmission. Welcome everyone. As always, I'm very happy to have you here. I'm very, very, very glad that we can hi Roxy, that we can share this moment together, right? Wait, disclosure. No, don't need a disclosure, but well, it's good to be here and to do this and to get into this. So I know what we're going to talk about because I was discussing about this just before. So let's get into it. And I'll go out of the way. I let the angelics in and Michael. Okay. So let me get out of the way. All right. Hi. Hello, folks, and welcome to today's transmission. We're going to touch on several things, not just what he was thinking about, but if we have some other stuff, other topics to get through. We'll start with healing, the healing. You have a tough period for many of you with your health issues, different stuff, surgeries, illnesses, conditions that are touching many of you. Remember, you are coming out of a long period of COVID. And that has brought you a collective tiredness. And even though you may have not been involved into the pandemic as much as many other people, you are not avoiding the tiredness that you all are feeling. Obviously, you are feeling it your way. However, it's there. All of you, you have your version of it. And so that exposes you. It makes you more available for these conditions, this situation that you have right now. So that is a transition for you. You are transitioning into something new that is coming very soon, a new period, a new era, new energy. And right now you are experiencing what we will call the ending of the pandemic as you knew it. You're still in the aftermath. So you are transitioning into the following stage, or your version of it, what you will interpret of it. So your moment right now, your health conditions, they are linked to that tiredness and the change that is coming. You need to accept that this is a transition and that you are interpreting it, changing yourself the way you choose to do it for yourself. Don't be afraid. Don't let your be taken into the news of all the situations that are going on with many people, right? That information is, well, information. Those conditions are real conditions, obviously, but still focus on you. Focus on what is going on with you and take care of yourself first and foremost, because you cannot take care of what is happening to other people. And remember that you are interpreting it, you are perceiving it your way. That is your interpretation. It doesn't mean it's not real, but still focus on you. And by focusing on you, you're doing the best thing you can ever do. And everything is gonna be all right. These are conditions, these are situations that can happen, especially when you have a very intense, and COVID has been very intense for the collective, for you, for this version of the collective, for this version of reality. Very intense. And so such an intensity cannot be left behind without then experiencing some conditions, some stuff, right? The energy that you are carrying with you. You are still traumatized, you're still having the memory of COVID, the fear of COVID. This leaves you exposed. So that's why you need to focus on you, on yourself, take care of you, take care of your reality, of your creation, and by doing that, you will just go to the next step with all the potentials that that next step has. But remember, you are nevertheless finding yourself in the evolutionary step, even if the conditions that many of you are having may make you believe that something wrong is happening with humanity, or whatever bullshit around that. Well, that's just your interpretation of it. The thing is that this is an expression, this is a moment, but it is not the moment, it's not final, it's not terrible. You're experiencing it. So, like many other moments, many other experiences, this experience will be over and you will go to the next stage. And you are still evolving and you are still expressing yourself and the highest potential expression of yourself. So, again, focus on you and allow yourself to evolve. Do not hold whatever you are experiencing or perceiving with this as anything final, terrible. It's a moment and it's already gone. And the next stage is already coming. So, next. So we were expressing. Let's touch this. I think that you need to go through to have this for yourself, right? You have to process this. You haven't finished your processing what happened to your husband. Far from that. You are still in the middle of it. You are still having issues that you have to confront yourself with, even though you are absolutely going through this in a way that you would not have been able to do many years ago. So this is the good news, right? But nevertheless, you cannot really say that you are out of it or that you have already transmuted everything that you are caring about the situation. You're still emotionally responding to things that generally you are not emotional about. So get on it. Have a grip of it on it. Accept your reactions, your emotion. Work on your chakra, work on with the sound as you have already done. So go with that and work on the acceptance. The acceptance. And work on the realization of what has happened. What has happened? Right? See what has happened. You witness it. You have been watching it. Right? So now it is the moment to transmute it. You know how to do it? So go through naturally at your pace, and it's going to be right. You know how to do these things. Now, next. We were discussing an aspect of what you will say, right? The way some mass events are interpreted and used, the perception that you have in sports, how you use it, and what is the message that you are carrying on with that. Let's say an event like the Football World Cup, soccer for the Americans. And Max was having an issue with what is their way of being, the dishonesty that the players are displaying when they play, and the influence that that has on the game, on the result of the game. Notably, right, the hand of one of the most celebrated players of all times, called Diego Maradona, that in 86, winning the World Cup in 86 by cheating. And the issue is to say, what is that? With a more fair game, wouldn't the result be different than the cheating and the display, the miserable display that they do of the game, with the cheating, with the dishonesty and all of that? And isn't that also a mirror for the society that is sustaining that kind of behavior, or is that kind of behavior influencing the society? We are expressing here what is a mass event. And we're reminded that mass events, whether they are in the sport or elections or conferences, right? Events that have an impact because everyone is watching. So mass events. Doesn't matter in what sector of your society they are happening, they are exactly the same thing. Because an issue with the cheating is that World Cups are, the results are all planified, right? There is a cheating happening, and you have proofs. There are proofs, there are videos, there are people that I've studied this and that came to the conclusion that the results of the World Cups are quite, all of them, with interference from someone, right? From the FIFA, so the World Federation, Football World Federation, or the government, etc., etc. So there is always something going on there because there is a lot of money. And in your world, in your reality, in your society, when there is money, there are interests, and the interest of the money are always above everything else, because you believe that that is what essentially is making your life, making your society. Now, to get to understand what is an event like the World Cup, let's get with something that Max is more familiar with, which is elections, like the election in the United States, where he understands that the results of the election is not the result of the vote. the physical action of voting that millions of people are doing. But it's an attraction, it's a interpretation, it's a creation in the moment that you do. It's a collective, yes, and you are you are all that are synchronized to the event. They are receiving a result. Which result? Well, it's the result that you choose collectively. That's the thing about the election, right? You have the physical story of the votes, people going to vote. Even the location is created. People are there creating it. They go and they have to cast their votes, and yeah, all of that is happening. Remember that that experience is the experience of the singular, or the fractal that is creating it for themselves. That has nothing to do with the overall experience, the global experience, because the global experience is the decision that you do as a collective. So who's going to win? The collective decides. And then the physical expression of the votes are played out in accordance with what is decided to be the result. So that, in other words, that means that the results of the election are never wrong. They cannot be wrong because they are expressed in the non-physical and then created in the physical, but they are decided in that way. The physical is the expression of the non-physical. Is the result of the non-physical, is the creation of the non-physical, right? It's the illusion that, right? It's the story you are telling. And so with that story, you need to have an interpretation. You need to have a result, and the result is decided in that way. So it's not the physicality of your action that is deciding the result of the election, but is the collective decision that then is presented as the result. And it goes the way it goes, and it cannot be wrong. It cannot be cheated, not in this system. Whether you like it or not, whether you like the physical expression of it, how you are interpreting it in the physical, doesn't matter, because the election is carried on the level of the global consciousness. So there are many things that are happening that you are all deciding. All of you are part of that decision, especially when it touches you, the United States of America. The United States of America is a wide awareness in your world, so that the participation of the collective is even stronger, right? All the collective is involved in the decision because all the collective is aware of it. Obviously, though, the main thing is the collective that is the United States of America, right? That is the main collective there. But it is so wide, so big, so universal, right? Earthlink, that it has all the collective involved. And the decision is made that way so that you cannot claim fraud or mistakes or that the other side should have won. No, it's impossible to have the other side should have won, because it's the side that has been picked by the collective that is winning. And the collective is expressing what? Is expressing the moment. So what you are attracting is the result of a election is the expression of the moment. The collective in that moment expresses that. That is the result. So when you take that into any other mass event, it's the same. The bigger the mass event, the more the mass event has a impact on all of you, and impacts all of your awarenesses, then there is a participation of the collective that brings then the result. So even there, the result of these mass events are the expression of the collective, the will of the moment. The collective is expressing the moment. In that moment, that is what the collective decides. So when you have a environmental conference with the decision what we do about climate change, you have all the people, all the governments represented and taking decision. How do we do what what technology, blah blah blah, all that things, and there is a result of that where there is a decision to reduce 20% of whatever, or 50 or 1550, whatever. That is the expression of what of the will of the collective. The collective in that moment, that is what the collective is expressing. So you take that expression, and that is what you want. And you may be happy, you may be sad, you may be against it or in favor, whatever you may be about that. The fact is that your collective took the decision. It cannot be in any other way, because we are talking here of mass events that impact all of you, and of which you are all participating, as you are all part of the collective in this decision. And what you witness in the physical is the story you are telling yourself. So that is now when we go and we take the sports event, the bigger they are, the more bigger the participation of the collective becomes. So where the football World Cup is that expression as well. It's universal. So the result of the World Cup is the result of what the collective decides, because you are all involved collectively and you are all aware of that event. And so the collective is going to lay down what the results are. So even there, it is expressed exactly the way it is expressed. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. So the Football Federation is a mafia organization that is only caring for money. This is what is the interpretation, the think about that. We will say that that may absolutely be the case. We're not saying yes or not. We cannot. We are not here for any of that. The thing is that this is still the expression of a will, of a moment, is the expression of the moment. And when you say these federations are only driven by money, well, you are driven by money. Some of you more, some of you less, but money is part of your reality. And that these kind of federations, sports federation, or a government of people may be driven in a fraudulent, unlawful way, uh, then we will ask you, define the law. Because you see, you create laws, and the main issue here is the legality, right? Is the law. What is the law? And these people are not respecting the law. They are going above the law. But what is your law? Why do you have those things? Why do you need to codify your life and to tell what is possible to do and what is not possible to do? And then there are behaviors that become illegal. How can a God be illegal in its behavior? How can you be wrong? Are these people really behaving in a way that is against humanity, against any of you? Can they? Are they? Or are you interpreting it that way? Aren't you also interpreting the law? Aren't you the one judging what is lawful and what is unlawful from your point of view? These people are doing what what is possible to do. They're doing what? Their unconditional expression of what they are, of their being. They want money. There you go. That's what is driving them. That's what they want. Is that illegal? If you interpret it that way, it becomes illegal for you. Is it illegal for them? Clearly not. They are doing it, though they know that the law is against them, but they're still doing it because, well, they think that they can do it. You see, it's a question of interpretation. What is the law? And why do you have laws? Why do you have to respect them? Because the law says so. We're not saying that it's wrong to have laws. We're not saying that you have to disrespect the law and become what you call a criminal. We are just pointing out that in the unconditional, there are no laws at all. So the law is a conditioning of your society. And it's your expression of lack. Because if you were not lackful, you wouldn't need laws. You are losing yourself into that because now you have become the slave of the legal system. Look at the United States, where there isn't a decision that is taken by the government that is not attacked in a tribunal, in order to have it overruled not by the political but by the judicial. And why this judicial is called into the political decision? They have nothing to do with that. The judge shouldn't be doing politics, but they become a political tool, right? The way they interpret themselves, they are going to take a decision that is in favor or against, depending on the government. If they are not supporting or from the part of the government, they are going to strike down the decision of the government. If they are part of the party of the government, they are going to validate the decision. You see the problem? Yes, it's a problem that you are having with the way you are interpreting the law and um, your relationship with it. So, how do you evolve from there? Well, your evolution is the evolution of taking back your power. Because the power that is expressed there is not a power, is a hiring, a appropriation of powers that do not belong there. The real power is you, and that power belongs to you, not in a powerful way, not in the showing of, but it belongs to you, to each one of you. And you are disregarding it in order to have governments and blah, 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 blah. But all of that is not necessary, because in your expression of you don't need to have anything above you, and you don't have anything above you. It's an illusion. It's why this is not working. It's because it's not above you. You have nothing above you, but you are illusionating yourself into having higher than you. Nothing is higher than you. Nothing can be higher than you. You are the creator. You are God. How could anything be higher than you in your reality? No, nothing can actually. But you are illusionating yourself. We love that word. Probably doesn't exist, but you are illusioning yourself into believing that the government is more important than you, that it is above you. Because you are looking for what? For a savior. And you believe that the government can save you. Or the government is screwing you because the government doesn't give a fuck about you or about anyone else. Because those that are part of the government, they are doing themselves. They are there for themselves. They are not there for you. It is not in existence anything like we're doing for the people, we're doing for others. We are here to be of service. Fuck that. No one is doing that. Because you don't have that concept, because you cannot have that concept, because in the end of the day, each and every one of you are the only one in your universe, in your reality, in your reality. You are creating yourself. Everything else is attraction, is interpretation. It's real, but still you are interpreting it as they are interpreting you. And you are co-creating with them the way they are co-creating with you. But still, in your reality, you are supreme. You are not above others. You are at the same level. And you are at the same level of everyone else in the universe, in creation. There is no one above you. You are not above them. Everyone is at the same level. Doesn't matter in what density they are. So that by placing yourself underneath authorities, you are not respecting yourself. You're not respecting your power. So in those conditions, how can you expect an abuse? Because you are abusing power, all of you. From the moment that you are relinquishing what you cannot, from the moment that you are giving away what you cannot give away, because your power cannot be given away to anyone. So you see all of your interaction from that moment, and they are the result of abuse, abuse of power. The one that appropriates it, that appropriate what do not belong to them, and the one that are releasing what they cannot release. Your power belongs to you and to no one else. So when you take that under consideration and you apply that into the fact that your relationship with the authority is a relationship of abuse, not of understanding and equality and these kind of things. Because you are automatically accepting they are above you. None of that will exist without you. So how can that be above you? Especially when we talk about governments and everything that has to do with decision taking at the political level of every country, that then becomes a universal way of expressing your relationship with the above. And it finishes not to work and create more problems because you are not able to understand the implication, to understand the nation and the nature of power. Your power in your reality is not old. It's something that is given. But it's borrowed. It's not a gift. It's not definitely given away. You are illusioning yourself in doing that. But as soon as you take back your power, everything else is gonna fall into dust. And not far is the day where your governments will all fall, because you will change your relationship with power and realize your own power. Understand it, apply it, express it as an extension of you, not as a tool for war, but as a tool of creation. Such is your unconditional expression of yourself. You come here on your wonderful creation, human expression of creation, your interpretation of human, and you are doing you, yourself, your reality, you're creating it, you're expressing it. Though your game is to pretend, oh, I don't remember. There's the fractal, there's the so-called pretended separation. But then you cannot avoid come to the conclusion that that is not real. So that your power, your expression of power, is yours, belongs to you at every moment. And what is borrowed by, let's say, the collective or the collective expression of authority is borrowed, and you can take it back at any moment because it belongs to you. It's yours. It's your expression of the unconditional. So you are conditioning yourself into believing authority is above you. I have to give them so that they can take care of me. Are they taking care of you? Only if you are worth, you will have something back. If you're not worthy, they will simply ignore you, with me, which means actually that you are ignoring yourself. That is the expression of the self. That's where you see that there is a link between what the authority is doing and you, which is that you are interpreting, you are attracting what the authority is doing and its impact on you. It's not them, it's still you. That is what your evolution now has to give you the awareness of. They are not doing this to you, you're doing this to yourself. Even though your human story, your human interpretation is saying something different, right? Yes, of course. But that is that is the difference between the expression of the non-physical that is translated into physical. The translation into the physical is giving you a result. But that result is what you decided to have, right? And that means that, oh, it's not something that you wanted. The fractal wanted. The fractal will have had a different result, but the unconditional choose exactly that result. So what are you going to do? Oh, we can tell you what you are going, or we can tell what you are not going to do, which is most of the time you are not going to accept the decision and fight the decision as a wrong one, as a bad one, as something that shouldn't have happened. The truth is, the decision is there, the result is there, it's done, it's happening. So what do you do with that? Oh, you oppose it. Of course you oppose it because you know only opposition against everything. Nothing can satisfy you, so you go and you fight against it. Even though clearly you are opposing the evolution. You are opposing sometimes what has been built over time so that may have become possible. But some of you are still opposing it for the sake of opposition, because you cannot accept reality the way reality is. You cannot accept that if that is there, it's not a mistake. There are no mistakes. You cannot commit mistakes. You can't. Even though you're trying to explain everything that doesn't go in the direction you think you wish, still thinking, still a fractal believing, oh, this is what we want. Whereas then it doesn't go that way? Well, because actually you didn't want it to go that way. You wanted it to go in a different way, different direction. And as you are the only master in your reality, then you have your wish expressed one way or another, in a way that you may even you may even not have any awareness of, because simply you had a vague idea, you were fantasizing with that, going in some direction with that, so that you leave space for a completely different resolution of experience. Because when you are fantasizing, you are still creating, and what has been created doesn't need to be created again. So get out of your mind, get out of your boring mind, and allow the expression of the moment, because the moment is going to tell you everything you need to know. So cool, absolutely cool. So then now, what is there to need to be done? Not much. Except the acknowledgement. The acknowledgement of the self. The acknowledgement that you are doing a great job for yourself in the condition you are. Because you are in a conditioning. The conditioning of not remembering, of opposing whatever whatever decision may have been taken. You need to oppose. You need to be against. In what way? Well, so you see, your structure of power, the way you relate to it, the way you use your laws to hide yourself behind behind something that is even not there in the moment with you. It's not something that is expressed or created or whatever. You're just taking that from your memory and or using that to oppose reality, or to say to everyone else how things ought to be, how wrong they are. And they are wrong just because the law says it, the government says it, someone else is saying it. You don't even have the courage of having an opinion of that, and you hide. Get rid of that. Get rid of that bullshit. Assess yourself, be yourself, and be your creation. Do not oppose that. Accept it, be it. It's life, is creation. Instead of being against everything, start accepting. Expand yourself, because acceptance of reality is an expansion of reality. It's an expansion of energy. You are allowing energy to flow. And when you allow energy to flow, miracles, what you call miracles, what some of you still call miracles, may happen. What is just happening is that your options, your choices are increased. You have available to you what was not available before, choices that you couldn't do up until the moment you were opposing reality. So it has an impact when you assess your power, where you are in your power and create from that point of view that you are the creator. Therefore, cannot be wrong. And there are still a lot that are pretending that they are wrong, that they can be wrong, and that they have to build up their success by stealing from others. Sport is one of those situations, yes. Because they think that they cannot reach the result they want by playing a fair game. And what is a fair game, right? Is there a fair game? But here then let's take a further step, because all of this is what? Your interpretation. You are seeing football in a certain way, but you are attracting it also in a certain way. You are interpreting it also in a certain way. Football in itself is neither good nor bad, neither a place of virtue, nor a place of unlawful things. It's what you do with it, it's how you interpret it, it's how you are attracting it. You have now to start seeing how you are vibrating and how you are attracting everything else in relationship with your vibration. That is why you can interpret what is happening with the World Cup and perceive things in a certain way. Max is perceiving that way of being, right? The unfairness, the fight, the wanting to win at all costs with no respect for anything. Because that's the way he sees it, which is real, because it is expressed in that way, but it's still an interpretation of reality. Is football that way everywhere? No, it isn't. Because it's not played in that way in every reality. And it is not the number one sport on the world in every reality. There are reality where it doesn't even exist. There are other sports. Or instead of saying in reality, we're saying moments. The correct words is moments, because that's what you're expressing, moments. And those moments are the expression, are containing a reality. Yes. So you cannot claim universality on anything. It's only something that you are attracting. That's all it is. It doesn't have that big of an impact on anything, but on what you are interpreting. The now, your now. That's where it is. So are these people bad, or are they committing crimes? Only if you say so. And what is a crime for you is not a crime for someone else. So do not how to come to a result, the sports result, because that still reflects a will. It is still that expression. It cannot be anything else. It's vibration, it's energy. That's how it's chosen. So the results of a sport event is linked to that. Exactly. Energy. and the attraction that you make of it. Because both works like everything else. All the rest is interpretation. Like everything else. All of your reality is interpretation. So give yourself the tools to observe all of this. Give yourself the tools to observe it on different levels of awareness. There is the physical expression of what is there. That is your story, the illusion, what you are telling yourself, right? It's happening. Yes, it's happening. But what is happening is the illusion, because at the energy, at the level of creation, in the non-physical, that's not what is happening. In the non-physical is the non-physical. It's the energy. It's the decision. It's what is there, right? It's energy. It's vibration. And the physical is the interpretation of it, is the attraction of it. Why are you attracting what you are attracting? Because you are vibrating in a certain way. That's why. Law of attraction is vibration. You vibrate and you attract what matches your vibration. You cannot attract what is not vibrating for you, with you, like you. You cannot. There has to be a vibrational match. It's as simple as that. If you are vibrating fear, you cannot attract power. You will attract fear. A fearful situation. That's what you're attracting. Because the fearful situation is what is vibrating and matching your fear. If you are vibrating the victim, you will attract a perpetrator. That's the only match you can find. You are not going to attract a solution for your problems, because the solution is not matching your vibration. You're repulsing the solution. So that's why you need to be aware of your vibration. How am I vibrating? What am I vibrating? Meaning, what is my expression in the moment? And you can know that. You don't have to see your vibration. You are not able to do that. So forget about that. But if you are vibrating fear, you can recognize that you are fearful. If you are vibrating empowerment, you know that you are expressing it, because you are. You cannot miss that. I am empowering myself. I am the trust, the strength, right? When you are vibrating that, well, then you are attracting what is matching you. You will not attract a reality of lack if you are expressing your worth, right? Because if you are expressing worth, lack is not a match. Be aware of that, because that's how you recognize your power. So to go back to that expression of sports and right, the results that you have in the sports, well, that is vibration too, and that is part of the collective too. So the result is attracted through your vibration, because you are the one experiencing it, so it's created by you. It is you. You are interpreting it, and you are receiving the results that are matching your vibration. So it cannot be wrong, it cannot be changed. Even though the story you are telling yourself is a story of cheating, the result is what you decided. And in the case of worldwide events, happenings, then it's the collective, a larger collective, that is decided, right? Because that is the expression in that moment. So a World Cup that has an impact all over the place, well, will be decided through the collective. And you may like or not the results, doesn't matter. You are participating in it, even if you are not really paying attention, but that doesn't matter. It's not part of, right? It's the collective. So we are all part of the collective. So when it's the collective, that is, well, we all participate in that, right? That's how it is. That's how collectives work. And the human collective is particularly part of those mass events on your planet. And here we are not talking about things like COVID or volcano explosions or right the destructions of right stuff. We're talking about what is elections and sports events, this kind of things, where you can have a, you don't know, we're not going into right that those other things. So watch those things from another point of view. Do not take the external point of view. It doesn't work. It's not right. When you watch events and you take the external point of view where you say, oh, right, it's decided through this, through that, right? The elections are decided by the votes. Yeah, somehow, yeah. We're not saying that the votes aren't casted following right your will, what you want, or you're casting it the way you are casting it. But what we're saying is that the decision, you are attracting the results. So the results of an election, the result of a sport event, the result of anything are always the expression of the collective that is expressing itself. So they cannot go against the will of the collective. So, are the sports federation corrupted? Again, we're not giving an answer to that, because that is the story you are telling yourself. It's a story. Is that influencing the result? Again, we're not saying yes or no. We are saying it's your interpretation of it, whether they do or not, first of all. But most importantly, they are only playing into the story the collective is saying. There you have it. So you are not a victim of a system, a mafia system that is taking over decisions, that are making decisions for you, that are making money over you because they are bad and they are driven by money. Yes, of course, that's a story that you are telling yourself. Is it real? Of course it's real. We're not saying it's not real. Of course it's happening. Though it's still interpretation. It's still part of the illusion. And it's happening only when you're saying it's happening. If you do not enter into mafia, gangster, and all of that, that is still part of the story, but not yours. You will not be part of it. Because if you are not validating it as your reality, then it's not your reality. It's part of the collective, of course. It's part of the collective story. You're not influenced on it. Yes, example. Yes, that's a good example. Thank you. Max went to El Salvador in 2014. El Salvador, in your reality, is a very violent country with a lot of violence by guns and gangs, organizations. And it's a country that is making a lot of you fearful of going there. But he went there. And he went there confident of having a great experience, of just visiting a country. Oh, what a arrogant idea to go in El Salvador and just have an experience with no violence. That's what his vibration was back then, was to go to El Salvador and have an experience of visiting a country with no violence, with no attacks, with nothing particular. And so he had that experience, the experience of that expression of the country. So he went there and that's what he found. He had experiences, no violence, even though police controls were around the country, and there were obviously signs of gangs or whatever, right? They were there. Part of the collective experience, of course. Not his. So you see, what is the collective interpretation of experience of a place or a organization, a situation, whatever it may be? Well, that's part of the collective. It's there. It's the collective experience, of course. But then your own experience is your own interpretation, your own vibration, your own attraction. If you are expressing yourself in the moment as your own creator, the unconditional that you are, without the expectations that you put a lot, without the fear, without the lack, without the bullshit that you are usually doing, if you are interpreting the moment in a unconditional way, then the unconditional happens. Then your experience is an experience that is your experience because it matches your vibration again, right? If your vibration, like Max, is to go in a country and have the best experience possible in that country, then that's what you are. You cannot have the other side. Hello, Karen. You are doing it. So if you let your vibration get into the fear, then that's what you are attracting. You cannot attract it in any other way. So it matches your vibration all the time. So this workup will be finished in the way it is finished. And it will be the result, the interpretation of the moment. Right? So it's the moment. It's not gonna be simply, and the story may be, because you have these stories all the time, the story may be that some government or some institution or some federation may have impacted the results. Again, it's money, it's a organization, it's a event with full of money where there are interests, and so there is the influence of all of that in your in the story you are telling. That is present. That's the collective idea what is happening. Let go of that and simply focus on you, your vibration, and that your vibration is matching what is attracting, so that your experience is exactly the experience of you, not the experience of the external. Because in the end, focus on you. Eyes on you. Your eyes on you, not anything else. Doesn't exist until you say it exists. You cannot experience it until you do not say that the experience is possible. It's you. It's always you. When you are able to visit some places, it's because those places are matching your vibration. If you, I don't know, if you go and you are able to visit a country that is called France, or a country that's called Canada, or United States, or Argentina, whatever, Australia, it's because those countries are matching your vibration. They do exist in your vibration. It's a match. If they were not matching your vibration, they will not exist in your reality, or you will not be able to go visit them because they will be outside of your vibration, even though they are existing in your collective idea of your world. The only what is matching you is there in your reality. You have to match. So that, again, and we repeat it because you are very dense and very, right, needing to have repetitions. It's a match. Then it happens in your reality. It's not a match. It cannot happen in your reality. The results of anything, whether an election, whether a sports event, whether whatever, those things happen because they too have a match, a vibrational match. Let's give a example. Right, the last two results of elections in the United States, presidential election, 2016 election of Donald Trump. There were a divide, some saying that it shouldn't have, or that there was mistakes or blah blah, all of that kind of thing. No, the election of Donald Trump was the match in that moment. The match was that. So Donald Trump was elected because the collective chose it, and then the vibration matched you, and you attracted that result because you are aware of this, because you are watching this, because you are hearing this. That's your reality. So that's your match. 2020, result of the election, Joe Biden is elected. And Donald Trump was saying, stalling, impossible. Why? Because the collective decided the result. You attracted it. You attracted that. You're hearing this. You're attracting Joe Biden as the winner of the election of 2020. That is the winner. That is the president that was chosen. So you attracted it. Vibrational match. Joe Biden cannot become president of the United States if it's not a vibrational match. That's how it's done. Even in situations like the World Cup 1986, with the result of Argentina winning the World Cup, after Diego Maradona stole by cheating the result. Even that, the result, is what was chosen. It was the vibration. It's the vibration. It's what is attracted. So it's the result was chosen again, right? You have to transcend what is your opposition of reality, your refusal of reality. What is attracted, what is there, is what you choose to have. It's a vibrational match. Whether you like it or not, that is the reality. That is the moment. Don't waste your energy in opposing reality, whatever it may be. Focus yourself on you, on allowing the flow of energy. And if you focus on allowing the flow of energy, then even if your attraction is a moment where you are attracting a problem, or what you are interpreting as a problem, if you accept the problem as the problem it is, right? You do not fight the problem as a nuisance, as something that has to be fight against. Then, if you have a problem, that is what you are attracting. You allow the flow of energy, so you allow the solution to come to you. It's not possible in any other way. It's a match. It becomes a match. You are not considering it as a problem. You are not considering it as a opposition. It's when you are opposing reality that the solution cannot come to you. Because when you are opposing it, so saying, I don't want this problem, this is a problem, I am so sad, so cross that this problem is here, I don't want it, then, well, why will the problem go away when you are antagonizing it and expressing that you want to have a problem because you are fighting against it, supporting, giving it energy. If you give it energy, why will it go away? The problem stays. The solution goes away. It's at the complete opposite of what you are in the habit of expressing. But your habits are habits of opposition, of unsatisfaction, of wanting what you don't have, of not seeing what you have. Not wrong. You simply didn't know. You have been in the habit of expressing it that way because you have always been said that's the way. Well, no, that is not the way. For a vibrational, right? For a unconditional expression of the reality, for a reality that gives you that is the way of a reality where you are full of problem, full of lack, full of complaints, full of resistance, full of tears, full of anger, because things are not going your way. Whoa, really? When you're doing everything in your power to make things not going your way, when you are doing everything to have it that way. Just relax. You got this. You really do. So the message again is the same that we have been now giving for some time, and that is acceptance, acceptance, acceptance. If you accept, you are not opposing. If you accept, you are not doing it wrong. If you're opposing, you are not near doing it wrong. You cannot do it wrong. We're simply giving you a way to express your preferred reality, your preferred choices. That's all. If you choose anger instead of, if you choose victim instead of your power, well, that's your choice. You will be a victim. It's an experience. If you choose not to be a victim, that's your choice. Isn't that your preferred choice? Oh, probably. No one wants to be a victim. Even those that are expressing victim, they are complaining about being a victim. Even though they are doing everything they can to be a victim, but that is another story, right? But that is an experience. So choose wisely, and we will be seeing you soon. Goodbye. All right. Hello. Hi, Karen. Hi, Roxy. All right. So, this is fun. It's always a different point of view from what the intuition, the human. Anyway, all right. So, announcement. So there is very soon a very interesting thing that is going to happen. So my friend Running Crow is making something that 12 days of Christmas, and he asked me to participate into it. It's a sort of giveaway of presentation and to have stuff like that. So if you want some surprises, go to Facebook. I think I will retweet it. I will share it, and you can go and we have some surprises for you, for those that are going to apply to it, some discounts. And there are, I think, well, it's 12 days of Christmas, so he has 12 people participating, so you can have some very interesting stuff. Well, I'm not going to talk about that right here because it's not the point, but in the starting well, for me it's already the 14th, so starting the 14th, so in the United States, still be tomorrow, is going to do that. So stay tuned and check out, and you may receive something or some discounts. Check Facebook, and the information is going to be there. Other thing, I have modified my, so I have new offering. I'm offering some new courses on, well, there is the one that I was already doing, the Worth, Wealth, Abundance. But I have added, so I'm doing it differently, meaning it's 5 sessions where we're going through point by point and exploring and going more deep into what you are expressing and how, and recognizing the expression of abundance, right? The worth, the wealth, those things that we are very often ignoring on ourselves. The other thing is I'm working with the healing sexual, physical, and emotional abuse. So there is also a 5 sessions of 1 hour, and we go through right through those abuses, depending, right, what abuse one has had. In the healing, transmuting them, letting go of them, first of all, identifying what that is, right? Everyone has their own expression, even though depending of the abuse, that the trauma and abuse that one has been exposed to, there are pattern, right, that are more related to a sexual abuse, and there are patterns that are more related to a physical, mental, emotional abuse, right? Each one has more specific stuff related to them, and so we go into that, obviously, in order to let go of it and stop identifying as a victim, stop holding those abuses. Sometimes we have more than one, right? So that instead of being a victim, we identify then as our own creator, master, and empower ourselves and stop degrading ourselves, because the abuse most of the time is leading to unworthiness and seeing the self as unworthy, and so deprecating the self and hating the self. So we have to go through that so that we empower the being. And finally, the other one that I have is the other course is 5 sessions, 1 hour, and that is family ties. And in there, we're going to explore your relations with your family members, closer, or right, parents, grandparents, siblings, etc., and see the relationship, the dependencies, how you deal with that, what is your trauma, because family is there to create trauma. and to create then experiences and dependencies. And one has to just see all of that and decide what one is going to do with that. Are you going to keep it? Are you happy with it or not? What is there that is holding you? What is not holding you? What is your reactions? Are you feeling that you are loved or aren't you loved? Are you validated or are you not validated? Are you seeking it or not? Right? Those things, and so that then, as I've done it, you're able to evolve, to make your relationship with these people evolve into something unknown, and they will appear to you new, unknown. Right, these are the new stuff. So the other thing is the Mad and God podcast with Roxy. So yeah, we're doing that, and go check it in every podcast site provider. And yes, have fun. And I will be seeing you soon. Right? So thank you for joining in. Pleasure. And have a wonderful time. Bye bye.